Hello, good evening and welcome to Prime Business. I am Pius Kojobaka. The Bank of Ghana recorded an operational loss of 9.49 billion cedis for 2024 and 13.23 billion cedis in 2023. And this was captured in the bank's 2024 financials released today. Here's more. According to the Bank of Ghana, the loss recorded represents a significant improvement from what it posted in 2023. The central bank in a statement argued that the loss came about as a result of engagement in its core mandate, like open market operations, which contributed about 8.6 billion cedis to the overall operating loss, evaluation and exchange differences, participation in Government of Ghana's Gold for Oil program, and currency expenses, which in the 2024 financials showed that it spent about 1 billion cedis last year. However, the Bank of Ghana was quick to add that it has instituted a lot of measures that will help improve their position going forward. One of them is the decision by the Bank of Ghana to get out of the Gold for Oil program, Finance Ministry's decision to recapitalize the Bank of Ghana, and other cost-cutting measures that will be implemented to help improve its operations. Now, reacting to this development, economist Professor Patrick Kisumi urged the Bank of Ghana to strengthen its equity position despite the significant reduction of losses incurred last year.
Yeah, I think, I have to say, I haven't read the full report. I've only read the press release. So, I only comment based on that. I think the first thing to notice is that much of the losses are related to their core business. That is great. It hasn't come from financing the government, which is something that we had that had caused us a lot of problem in 2022. So I think that is good. Now, and also the fact that it's trending. Of course, 2022 was an extreme year, but it's reduced from what it was in 2023, and it's trending the right way. So I think that is good. But I think the equity position of the BOG still needs strengthening, and then hopefully in the coming years the government will deal with that.
I want to stay a while longer with economist Professor Patrick Kisumi because he has warned that the recently passed 1 cedi fuel levy might increase fuel prices at the pumps in the next pricing window. He argues if crude oil prices increase on the international market, that would compound the plight of consumers despite the city's good run against major currencies. And he's been speaking to Joy Business.
I think this is, it's not very good for the reputation of the government because, you see, from the transport owners' point of view, they had already been very reluctant to cut their fares when the city started appreciating and fuel prices started going down, because there had been some doubt whether this is really here to stay. So to see the government on the back of this quickly say, I'm going to impose this levy, I think it will even bring more feed dragging. So those who haven't reduced their prices yet, I doubt if they will go ahead and reduce. So I think all of this is not looking good for the reputation of the government, given that it's only 6 months, it's only 5 months in.
Yeah.
And the promise to cut taxes, and the government has started so well. I'm quite surprised that and this came so quickly. I'm not sure how much discussion has been had with the stakeholders. So I think the drive to cut prices will probably be put on ice.
And we've engaged in the views of businesses, and we want to know how this, of course, would affect them as well in terms of operational costs, etc.
So I think we have to start with what it will do to the fuel prices. I don't know how much of the current prices reflect all the currency appreciation. It appears that the city is stabilizing around the 10.2 mark. So if in the next pricing window there's no more additional effect of the appreciation, or if you continue to see a fall in the global price of fuel, then perhaps it might be that a lot of this levy will absorb those additional benefits that were coming. But I think it won't be great news if we see fuel prices inch up at the next pricing window. Then many people are going to rightly or wrongly say, well, this is the government just raising the prices. The tax is raising the prices.
Away from economist Professor Patrick Kisumi, the rampant spread of aquatic weeds in Ghana's inland waters poses a growing threat to hydroelectric power generation and water transport, with the 160 megawatt hydroelectric power plant in Akuse among the most affected facilities. Now, Director General of the Ghana Maritime Authority, Dr. Kamarin Ali, says coordinated efforts are needed to tackle the problem. Kwame Yanka reports.
Director General of Ghana Maritime Authority, Dr. Kamarin Ali, made the remarks during an inspection of weed clearing efforts at Bong in the eastern region. The visit formed part of the Inland Water Assessment Mission and included a review of work done by skimmer vessels previously handed over to VRA to support the cleanup. He described the weed removal as a key pillar of Ghana's blue economy, adding that its benefits go beyond energy. Dr. Kamarin Ali expressed satisfaction that his tenure is strengthening partnerships among key stakeholders to boost inland water economy. These efforts, he added, align with the government's 24-hour economy agenda, especially in communities along the lake corridor.
The overall result we are seeing is that weeds are being cleared in tons, allowing the generation of power that otherwise, if not generated, will cripple our nation. It also clears the ways for fisheries to take place. So another element of a blue economy activity that is taking place. And for that matter, tourism, of course, because if somebody came and all the waters here are covered by weeds, then you will not have a touristic site to look at. And finally, importantly, transportation for canoes and other people to use. And these are very important elements that we have come to see.
Meanwhile, Dr. Kamarin Ali says since the skimmer vessels were handed over to VRA more than 2 years ago, tons of aquatic weeds have been removed.
A lot of tons of weeds are cleared. And an important and encouraging element of that is that the weed is just not cleared and deposited somewhere. As part of the value chain that is used in generating compost. The compost is used for farming, and as part of the give back to the community also, part of it is distributed to the local community to enhance their farming. So this weed is not something that is, and actually weeds and aquatic weeds are an important economic thing. Apart from compost, in some places it is used for food, it is used for other things, and that is what we are seeing here. So the tons that are cleared are very useful and contributes to a value economic chain.
Currently, 2 skimmer boats are operating at Bong and 1 at Adan. However, the Maritime Authority believes new, more efficient specifications may be required to boost performance. The site visit was led by VRA's technical head, Hakim Tijani, and Volta Lake Transport's Managing Director, Angela Oferiwa Oloute, along with their respective teams. Kwame Yanke's report for Joy Business.
As Benso Oil Palm Plantation PLC holds its 2024 annual general meeting, key concerns among Ghana's agribusiness sector are taking center stage, from the influx of illegal imported palm oil products that continue to distort market pricing and threaten local industry competitiveness, to the destructive impact of illegal mining on farmlands and rural livelihoods. Now, despite global and domestic economic challenges, BOPP has shown resilience. But the rising cost of doing business, compounded by unregulated imports and environmental degradation, raises urgent questions about enforcement, sustainability, and the future of agribusiness in Ghana. Natalia Kwanza reports.
Benso Oil Palm Plantation has been a key player in Ghana's agro-industry for decades, producing refined palm oil and supporting thousands of livelihoods. But this year, executives say the ground is shifting literally and economically. At the company's 2024 AGM, Chairman Non-Executive Director Dr. Alfred Mahamadou Brahima warned of the growing threat from illegal imports.
We're operating in an environment, and our business, which ends with the production of oil products, so the fried oils, the margarines, etc. Clearly, there are options, there are alternatives from other import sources. With the strengthening of the cedi, those imports clearly are going to become cheaper. If they come through the ports, of course, that's a level playing field. If they come through illegal cross-border routes, then that's where the problem is, that the playing field will not be leveled, that your business is asking for the playing field to be leveled, and for illegal cross-border trade to be brought to the barest minimum, for two reasons: for our benefit as a company, for the benefit of the smallholders, the benefit of the outgrowers, and more importantly, the benefit of government, because all those leakages are resulting in tax revenue loss.
BOPP is urging strong enforcement this year, calling for action to stop illegal imports that are damaging confidence in the sector.
Key area management and the board will continue to work on with government this year is the implementation of actions to minimize the influx of grey, illegal imports, and because it is affecting the operations of our major customers. And indeed, who are the major customers? The manufacturing companies, and thus business and the tax revenue.
But oil isn't the only concern. On the ground, another problem is creeping dangerously close: illegal mining. Galamsey operators have pushed into lands near BOPP's concessions. The company is now spending more on surveillance and security resources. It would rather invest in growth.
In our case, because we till land to produce a crop, any available land that we could have alternative use for, if it is encroached by Galamsey, then directly it is impacting our chances of expanding. And so that is how we look at Galamsey. Operators of that industry have come very close to our concession, and we are spending more money to make sure that there is security surveillance and all of that. And sometimes it is even risky how we interface or engage with it. So we think that the Galamsey issue remains a threat, and everything that can be done to make sure that we are not against gold mining, and we have to distinguish between gold mining, whether it's small scale or large scale. There is a way it can be done in such a way that it doesn't destroy other, if you like, productive sectors, real sectors of the economy, and that they reinforce each other for the benefit of the economy and the Ghanaian as a whole.
For BOPP, the call is clear: protect the industry, level the field, and let agriculture thrive alongside Ghana's other growing sectors.
The Ghana Bauxite Company has revealed plans to reclaim and restore vegetation cover in depleted parts of its concession. Presently, exploration work is being undertaken in parts of the mine's concession where digging has already been done. General Manager Alexander Jedu explains a comprehensive report will guide management's plans to reclaim and restore the vegetation cover. Anaya Ojima has more.
Bauxite mining often involves the removal of vast stretches of forested land, leading to the destruction of biodiversity and the destabilization of local ecosystems. In the case of GBC, the surface mining has left large tracts of land barren. The company is optimistic the strategy to restore some of the lost vegetative cover will improve the environment and also deepen commitment towards sustainable mining. General Manager of GBC, Alexander Jedu, indicated support for the government's effort to restore lost vegetative cover through the National Tree Planting Day.
We are undertaking exploration work on our affected areas where we've mined already. If we do not find any mineable areas, those affected areas will be reclaimed and we'll do planting. As Ghana Bauxite, for its existence for the past 80 years, has not done anything that is so harmful to the environment. First of all, we are law-abiding, and all the regulatory permits that allow us to do the mining operations, we've secured them. That is the first step. We have a bond with Environmental Protection Agency of Ghana.
Additionally, the company is deploying surface miners to improve the sustainable mining of bauxite. The drill and blast operations, which are largely used in the mining of bauxite, produce air and noise pollution that negatively impact the environment. Mr. Jedu again.
The securing of surface miners so that it will not cause a lot of environmental pollution, it will not cause a lot of impact on the catchment communities, i.e., their buildings, their roofing sheet, they cannot even go to their farms and all of that. So we are getting 3 additional surface miners to come on board so that we completely over time eliminate the drilling processes, the drilling and blasting processes within our operations.
Meanwhile, the company says it remains committed to abiding by all regulations on the environment. For Joy News, Nanaya Ojima, Awaso.
More on the environment, Telis Ghana is making bold strides in environmental sustainability, with CEO Patricia Obunai reaffirming the company's long-term commitment to tree planting as part of its corporate purpose. Speaking at the Chippa Forest Reserve, she emphasized the role of businesses in protecting Ghana's natural environment. Here's a report.
Ghana continues its green mission at the Chippa Forest Reserve as part of this year's World Environment Day and the National Tree Planting Exercise. Chief Executive Patricia Obunai led employees, community members, and school partners in planting 10,000 trees. She says the effort reflects one of Telis's core pillars, environmental protection, and calls on other corporate bodies to support similar causes.
As part of World Environment Day and also as part of the National Tree Planting Exercise, we go out every year as management and employees. We take time out and we go in partnership with the Forestry Commission to plant trees. So over the years, we've done this work at Achimota. You go there, you see a part of it that's planted by Telis employees. Last year, we were here in partnership with Forestry Commission at the Chippa Reserve to plant 10,000 trees. Today, I'm glad to note that we are here again to plant another 10,000. And then in the month of June, we'll be in Kumasi to do another 5,000. So this is not a fluke for the media. This is a commitment as part of our purpose as an organization.
District Manager for the Tema Adan Forestry District, Linda and Sam praised Telis Ghana for its consistent collaboration with the Forestry Commission. She highlighted the importance of corporate support in addressing deforestation and climate change.
Chippa Forest Reserve that we are in now is a degraded forest reserve. And so we are glad that Telis as a company comes in year after year to collaborate with forestry to enable us restore the degraded Chippa Forest Reserve. And so we want to recommend them, we want to commend them for doing it, and want to also encourage other corporate bodies to emulate a good example of Telis and also come in to help the government. The government alone cannot do it. And so when we meet corporate bodies like Telis who are very committed, last year they were here, this year, at the beginning of the year, they came, they did 4 hectares. This time we are here doing another 10 hectares. And you see how lovely it is. Everyone is here taking pictures and having fun planting.
For students like Adam Caleb from Golden Sunbeam International, the experience goes beyond planting trees. It's about climate action and inspiring others to protect the planet.
I feel happy by planting trees to help prevent climate change. The advice to my friends and families are that we must try to preserve our wildlife by planting more trees and conserving our wildlife ecosystem.
With consistent corporate efforts and growing youth involvement, Telis Ghana's tree planting drive shows that sustainability is not just a goal, but a shared responsibility.
From one telecom company to another, as part of efforts to drive digital inclusion in the country, MTN Ghana has expressed its commitment to continue to invest in improving digital literacy among the youth. According to the Chief Executive, Stephen Blewett, prioritizing digital skills amongst Ghana's youth population will drive socio-economic development. He spoke at the launch of the 2025 MTN's 21 Days of Yellow Care, one of MTN's corporate social responsibility initiatives.
MTN 21 Days of Yellow Care is a flagship employee volunteerism program that brings together staff from across the company to participate in high-impact social projects within their local communities. The program, now in its 16th year, focuses on different themes each year, reflecting MTN's multifaceted approach to social responsibility. Stephen Blewett is the CEO of MTN Ghana. He details some of the activities lined up for this year's initiative while addressing the media at the launch of this year's edition.
We're going to be upgrading some facilities. We're also going to be teaching digital skills and also helping people get into the digital world. So we'll be helping people. If you're a farmer, how do we get you to be the digital? And we'll also be working with young people to teach tech and digital skills, because that's a way of growing people in business, and also bringing some businesses and organizations into the global ecosystem who are not digitally represented. So give them access, put them on the web, give them a web page, do those kinds of things. But it also involves actually physically helping out people where we can in some areas. But so these multiple programs, and they vary at different parts of the country. But it's really around bringing digital skills and bringing people, giving skills and also helping people to grow their businesses through digital tools.
On his part, Cedric Jelu, Technical Director at the Office of the Minister of State for Climate Change and Sustainability, charged MTN to lead the sustainability drive.
Given what you are doing, given your expertise, you should lead the way. Lead the way in ESG practice and lead the way in sustainability leadership. What that means is that we want you to escalate or populate this knowledge. Take this knowledge beyond the confines of MTN. Organize forums, workshops, invite other businesses and share this knowledge, share these tools. Go to the schools and let them understand the best practice of ESG coming from MTN.
The 2025 edition, which will be marked by activities across all 16 regions of the country, will focus on driving digital inclusion.
Still on the 21 Days of Yellow Care for MTN initiative, well, they've teamed up with the Opportunity Industrialization Center known as the OIC to promote technical and vocational education and training in the country. And this partnership seeks to enhance economic development through technical skills. Here's a report.
The 2025 edition of the 21 Days of Yellow Care initiative under the theme Connecting at the Roots, connecting communities through the use of digital tools, has seen the push to promote technical and vocational education and training alongside skills development in the country. Chief Executive of MTN Ghana, Stephen Blewett, underscored the need for prioritizing skills development. He revealed that this could serve as a critical driver for optimizing the 24-hour economy and enhancing national economic growth.
I firmly believe that these skills are what we need. They're lacking worldwide. If you do worldwide research, the skills I've seen here today is what everyone's looking for. Not many people are looking for another CEO. Lots of people are looking for the skills that exist here, and they are marketable throughout the world. So in Ghana, if we want to continue to grow our economy, if we want to have a 24-hour economy, we need people with these skills. The only thing we're bringing is saying, well, if you've got those skills, how do we help you to market them? But absolutely still firmly believe that those skills have to be there. And as I said in a previous, at the CEO Summit, our role as business is to make sure that the students learning here have an opportunity to showcase their skills to the world. And that's where digital comes in. That's where we come in.
The principal of the Opportunity Industrialization Center, Maoli Sogbe, echoed this sentiment, highlighting the importance of TVET in addressing youth unemployment.
TVET has come to stay. Way back, we used to have that erroneous impression that TVET was just for the less academically endowed, students. But right now, where the world is moving now, we must all gear up and acquire the skills. We must all gear up and acquire the skills so that our children will be, employable in future, because the jobs are not there. So when you are able to acquire the skill, or you go through the technical and vocational education, you have two, advantages. You have the technical aspect and the academic aspect. So if you are not able to progress to the tertiary level, you have the skill that you can set up something on your own, that's, self-employment, or have, go into wage employment.
As part of the collaboration, MTN Ghana has partnered with the Fashion Department of the Opportunity Industrialization Center to produce school uniforms for students in deprived communities, a move that combines practical training for students with a strong social impact.
Yes, currently, they've given us this project to sew school uniforms for some of the deprived schools. So we are sewing 283 school uniforms for some of the basic schools in different sizes. So that is what we are doing for them. And we've used this opportunity also to open our doors for them to see so that they can move to other departments as well. But currently, the collaboration is between, the fashion department of our school and MTN.
This initiative reflects MTN's ongoing commitment to community empowerment and youth development, leveraging partnerships to create lasting change in Ghana's education and employment landscape.
That's all for business. I am Pius Kojobaka.